So we have it on recording.
Okay, got it. Go ahead.
Hi, guys. Thanks for joining. My name is Amanda Armagast. Welcome to Essence of Medicine. Today, we're going to be answering the question, are women making men taller?
My name is Alyssa Hopper.
And I'm Dr. Abbasi for Essence. So why are we talking about this?
Well, I guess I'll start this out. When I was 19, I had an injury when I was playing college volleyball in my back, and they told me to go get an x-ray. Got an x-ray, and they told me, the chiropractor, it was just the chiropractor, and they told me that I had a 6.
Don't say just chiropractor.
It was a chiropractor's
But don't say
office
just.
that I was at. It was
Why?
not just a chiropractor.
You know, there has been always this animosity between the doctors and chiropractor, whereas a lot of people with problem go to them. We, on the medical side, we finally have to start treating them with respect and see them as a peer. And many times when people is just a chiropractor, doctors say that as a demeaning kind of thing.
Sure.
I was joking. Just go
Yes.
ahead.
I should clarify, we did have a family team chiropractor with our college
Excellent.
team. So that's why we went there.
They do lots of good
initially.
job.
So what did
happened?
he tell you?
He told me to come over here and take a look at my x-ray. He
Mhm.
says, how many lumbar vertebrae should you have? You're taking biology. I said 5. He goes, well, how many do you have? We counted down, and he goes, you have 6.
And for those of you who don't believe us, we actually do have
Did
we
you
do
come
have
from outer
evidence.
space?
I was in a lot of pain at the time, so I didn't ask a lot of questions. I nodded my head and said, okay, so now what? And he said, that's kind of about it. Just good to know. So
Wow.
there it is. Can they
So-
see Dr. Abbasi? You want to take
Yeah,
this
why don't
and
you take
show
yeah.
him how to read a
So-
x-ray?
Well, this is in the X-ray. We always start with the name of the patient. That's the format of how we read X-ray or any
Mhm.
films. This AP KUB a view of Alyssa Hopper.
Mm-hmm.
This
and-
was taken earlier this week.
Yeah,
Also,
yeah.
this isn't her
and the
original
date,
X-ray.
and you
Yeah, about
obviously
2 days
say the
ago,
date.
we wanted to
Yeah.
verify before we came on this podcast.
Then obviously we see the spine is a AP view, well centered. Then we see the pelvis. What is that there, Alyssa?
That's
You
some
are
air
here.
in my stomach.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is. Now, what is this?
It's some stool in my colon.
No, it's not still
Some air.
the air.
It's the air,
Yeah,
but
it's a
same
future
concept.
part. It's a future part. That's what
Oh,
it is.
Great.
Okay,
And
gassy
then-
girl.
Okay, Amanda.
I know I'm one to.
So, and this is the sacroiliac joint.
Uh-huh.
This is the pelvis. You see the ribs. Obviously, thoracic vertebrae have ribs. Now, the definition of thoracic vertebrae is having ribs.
Mhm.
It just happened to be that when we start from skull all the way to our sacrum, when we are like bunch of tissue, there are these special kind of cells that they induce creation of the whole segment.
Mm.
That is, we are segmented. Like some of those segments become our head. 7 segments in our neck become our neck vertebrae. And then as well, they grow out, they make our arms. That's why literally those nerves, veins, arteries, they go travel together. They make C6, 7, 8.
Mhm.
That is how we are made. That we are like a worm, and then the worm start growing in actually 4 places. That those are our arms and hands. And it seems to be that the neck, how farther up you go, it's more actually unified. Because if it was something wrong there, you wouldn't pass the embryonal stage. So it's rare for somebody to have more or less, very rare to have neck. Thoracic spine as well is rare that you have more or less, but it's possible. But in the lumbar spine, it has become tremendously, common that we have more than 5 vertebrae. Now, literally here I see that here is T12, and then we count down L1, L2, L3, L4, L5, and a whole new vertebra down here. You have a whole new vertebra. Now, I want to emphasize how important this is, because when I was in med school, when you would have something like that, we would call doctors from the other hospital, hey, come and see, we got a transitional S1 or extra vertebrae. This was a rare thing. That was just 30 years ago. And in the last 30 years now, when I look at that, every 10th patient, so about 7 to 10% of the patient that I see,
Mhm.
they have one additional vertebra, and that is not that common anymore. Now it has
Wait, it is becoming less common?
becoming more
More
common in the
common.
lumbar spine, it's
Okay.
becoming way more common. And the question is why? Why is becoming, why this was rare 30 years ago? That is like a marvel of biology. That is evolution in action. No, well, I'm not saying she's a marvel.
Marvel.
No.
I think it's so cool that you have one. I think if I had one, I would be telling everybody. Actually, I would even make it my bio on Insta.
but-
I did. For a while, I
Can-
still tell people
can you
that's my
guys-
fun fact,
Yeah.
actually.
Stand up now, though. I want to see who's
Me?
taller.
Oh, you want to see who's
No,
taller?
yeah,
Me
well,
or Elizabeth?
people should see. Okay, so are you surprised now that she's taller? Know
Am
that
I
you know,
surprised that Alyssa's
you know that she has an extra vertebrae.
Oh,
Are you-
yeah, I
Does it
am.
make sense that?
It makes sense, but you're taller than me. Do you have an extra vertebrae?
No, I don't, but
Misha,
in average,
taller. if
if you have an extra vertebrae, you're taller than the rest of the people.
I just wouldn't ever assume, like, I think it's really cool and interesting that we're kind of evolving in our own generations.
But this is not really good though, because no, hear me
Thanks,
out, okay?
Amanda.
It's a marvel that I see evolution in action. In my professional lifetime, I see that the humanity is going from 5 vertebrae to 6 vertebrae. But all the studies are very clear about that. For every inch above 5 feet, you are actually losing life of year because your heart has to pump higher up, your joint, your body grows like a power of 3, but your joints, the surface of them grows power of 2. So there's more pressure, you wear and tear them more. So it is not really a good thing to be like, there's a reason most of the Asians are about 5 feet, because that is truly the optimum for
Height,
human
yeah.
to be, because we are standing up. If we weren't standing up, you could get bigger and taller and so on. But because we are using just 2 legs, and most of the time our heart has to press the blood or push the blood up toward our brain. By the way, what percentage of our blood goes to our brain? Yes.
90%.
No, 40%.
40%. Okay. I'm
Brain
like, a
is
lot of
just
it.
2-3% of your body weight,
Right.
but 40% of your blood. So it is a lot of
Still
work
a
for
lot
your
of
heart.
blood.
So for that reason, it's not really a good thing to be taller, but what we still happening, we are getting taller. If you look at the last 2 centuries, we are getting taller, and we are in my professional lifetime. By the end of this century, probably 50% of the people will have 6 or more vertebrae. Why?
So why are we getting taller if it's not really better for us?
Well, you put the name of the podcast out there.
Yeah.
You
why?
women are making us go that
Wait,
direction.
We're making you taller.
Yes.
I
Everyone-
didn't sign up for this.
Yeah.
Someone did this to me.
Okay.
Wait, how tall is your ex?
6'5".
6'5". Okay. So
It could have
you
been
have
bad.
a
It could have been bad.
you have a so
Your
you have
baby's
a
gonna have
you have a 6'5" guy and you have a 5'2" guy. Which one are you going to date?
Yeah, who do you pick?
In all reality, the 6'5" over the
Yeah.
5'2".
Yeah. So
Yeah.
and that is, we call it's a name for that. They say the female generally steer the evolution in the direction of their sexual preference, and that is
That
happening-
makes sense.
that happens though in the whole animal kingdom. Humans are not special in that regard. Why do you think the poor pheasants, the boys, are so pretty, lots of colors? Do you think they want to be like a, here I am, fox, come and get me? That's not the
No.
case. They don't want that. But that is, female are choosing that because for that colorful pheasant to survive, they have to be more agile. They have to be better reflexes. So it is practically indirectly the female pheasant is choosing a male pheasant that is more agile, because if you're that colorful and clumsy, you'll be eaten in no time.
Mhm.
Evolution has its way to penetrate itself. In this case, by you woman choosing, taller guys, so you're giving us an extra vertebrae.
Always comes back on the females, doesn't it, Amanda?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, the men will always find a way to blame women for everything, so
blaming.
that's just natural.
I'm not blaming, but it's a fact. Now,
Fact.
yeah, it is. Look at that. But you know, um, our physiology is made for certain height.
Yeah. I'll
But-
agree with that.
But do you think like maybe we'll adapt to being taller and eventually it'll be better to be taller?
It's basic physics. That doesn't change. You know, when you grow, like when you make something bigger, a cube, you're like a cube. You're a three-dimensional thing. If you make a cube bigger, if you double it, obviously a surface quadruples, but by power of 2, but the weight or volume is a power of 3, so 8 times.
Mm.
So the pressure on our joint always goes higher. The heart has to push higher up, blood higher up. So, and those studies are very clear about that. We are not going to adapt to facts of physics. They're just going to catch up with us. But our medicine is getting better.
Yeah.
Our nutrition is getting better.
Technology is
offset it.
getting
We
better.
are offsetting that. Like we are giving people heart surgeries
Mm-hmm.
if their heart fails and so on. So
Transplants and everything.
yeah.
Yeah.
I guess I have a question.
Yeah.
So what we know about spinal anatomy is that with each vertebrae come certain things such as, nerves, arteries, veins. Well, because it's lumbar, we know that the spinal cord kind of goes that what we call, caudate.
Cauda
Do we think we'll see any sort of adaptation with our blood
That's a good
supply, our
question.
nerve supply, if we continue to see, say, an extra vertebrae?
So let me ask you a question. You ask a question that we neurosurgeon in the spine have been asking ourselves for a long time. It is a big deal, this segmental. We call that segmental anomaly.
Mm-hmm.
Is it now L5 that it goes in the last one, or is it the S1, or is it the L6, and so on?
Mm-hmm.
It is confusing for us as well.
Absolutely.
But what we deal with that is that we give things a name, like, we give a cat name cat. A cat, they don't call themselves cats.
Right.
Nature tries everything. Nature doesn't comply with our textbook. So you may have somebody who has a 6 vertebrae, and then you go to the doctor says, your symptoms don't fit, because I want you to have a L5, that the top of your big toe have symptoms there. Your symptom doesn't fit, and
Right.
they send you out. They say you're faking it. It happens every day in the United States that somebody goes to the doctor. We have a textbook concept of symptoms and pictures. They don't fit. We say, get out of here. Whereas nature doesn't do it that way.
Right.
Nature may give you 6 vertebrae and then make another segment. And you don't have like 5 segments in your legs that,
Right.
You won't have the tupical. And that is more than people think it is. Like I just recently had a patient that, that was sent out of multiple offices because why should you have, like what we would consider L3 radiculopathy,
Mm-hmm.
whereas the nerves are being pushed a little, not much, in the bottom one, which is 5S1. I would expect it should be your top of your
Sure.
foot and so on. And then you do a discogram, that segment, when you like put a needle in and increase the pressure inside of disc, give patient, and you do it blind. That patient doesn't even know you're doing that. Say, yeah, that is my pain. Nature can decide to take that nerve that you expect to go to top of the foot to front of your thigh.
So you're very right. I've done a couple of cadavers, and
Yeah.
the amount of times you expect things to be there, and anatomy just does whatever it wants. So
Yeah.
good thing we don't treat
So,
textbooks.
Yeah, well,
Right.
no, we still do have to learn that, but that is, we cannot be ignorant about that nature tries everything.
Absolutely.
Open your eyes and, learn with the nature. Nature is not going to learn from you.
Yeah, nature doesn't care about your feelings
Yeah.
and your opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the biggest thing is about, this form of nature is I would have probably never discovered this until I came to Dr. Abbasi or someone when I had some sort of pain,
Yeah.
because I didn't have anything before. So there's probably several people out
Mhm.
there that are growing their extra vertebrae themselves too.
Now,
Totally.
how many fingers do we have?
We should. The typical would have 5.
Chan Fan. How often do you think people have six fingers? It is not as
10%.
rare.
I say 10, 5, 10%.
No,
Not
that's
quite.
not that. No, it's
3.
about
3.
the 1 or 2 or 3%.
Okay.
You know, but
Just 5.
and sometimes those extra fingers are actually functional. They are good fingers. But what do the parent do? The first thing they
They
see
don't
them,
want the
Cut it
kid-
off.
Yeah,
they
they
cut
don't.
it off.
They don't want the kid to be embarrassed.
Yeah. My ex-wife married this lawyer who had actually 6 fingers
On each
everywhere.
hand?
Yeah, they cut it all off. No, feet as well. They cut it off.
Hmm.
And they were functional fingers. Okay. Now I know, you know, I'm just being guilty as charged. I probably would have cut it on my finger, on my kids too, if
You
they
would have
had.
done it.
Yeah, I
was
would have done it. I would have done it myself, probably. But you see that we want everybody to fix to a
We all want to fit in a little box.
In a
kind
box.
of,
Yeah.
Yeah.
okay.
That's
And-
natural.
and
I
that
think it's
is-
human.
Yeah, and that is like, you know, you see so much variability in dogs because in dogs we find it cute. If humans would have the same variability like dogs, we would have people who are 2-inch tall. Can you imagine that? That is the amount of variability we allow on dogs, on our dogs.
Mhm.
But when a person has that, we just want, nope, you have to fit in the box, you know, you just,
Mhm.
I'm going to cut that perfectly normal finger off.
Which makes me kind of laugh when you say that. You know,
Yeah.
dogs, we breed them with other
Yes.
dogs to get, you know, who we want, how we
Yes.
want,
Yeah.
our size, shape.
We have
Well,
dogs that
here
are
we
like a little rat
This
and
is
dogs
the
like
thing.
that are like, you know, like,
Yeah, but we're taking it way too far with the dog stuff. Like
yeah.
people are breeding dogs and they're ending up like having terrible lives, flat faces, and they can't breathe well.
Yeah.
So sometimes it is a little bit good, I think.
So
to
we
fit in
are,
a
so
box.
are you saying the women are taking it too far with
No,
men,
I'm saying
making
women.
us
No,
taller?
no, don't get it wrong.
Here we
I'm
go
saying women
again.
are doing everything right, and we should keep up what we're doing.
And
I
I
think-
heart attack.
And I think this is a perfect place
That
to.
is, that is one reason men actually live about in average 7 to 8 years shorter than women. So you guys
Why?
are
What's the
Because they're
reason?
taller.
generally we are taller. You're making us all taller, and we are taller to start with. So our heart cardiovascular disease, that's one of the reason, not
Sure.
only reason, but one of the reason men live shorter. Okay, thank you.
Yeah. Thank you.
They do that so that they don't have to deal with women for quite as
Exactly.
long.
Leave us with the rest of the mess. They just
And the
make a
money.
huge mess.
And
Don't forget
money,
about the
okay.
money.
I'm good with that.
Okay.
Thank you,
Thanks,
guys.
everyone.
You have to go to Oman. Okay, so we are going to send you a lot of content from Oman. How can you not mention that, Amanda?
I'm too
Because I
excited.
know you guys are gonna do so many podcasts from
Yeah,
Oman that
yeah.
they'll get
So
plenty.
they're taking us with the military honor from airport. And Amanda just told me a while back that, you know, she's going to.
What did I say?
That you're going to be complying with whatever they tell you.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay. Well, stay tuned. We are going to send you lots of content from, we are going to work with a fantastic surgeon there. Dr. Jahvari is an extraordinarily well-trained surgeon in multiple high institutions in North America. And actually we packed our stuff. We are going to, along the way, we are going to Turkey and then Oman. We are going to make lots of content. Stay tuned. It'll be interesting, very interesting.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks,
Bye-bye.
everyone.